it's time to download and install an IDE, and for this course I will use an IDE called Intellij IDE, which is an IDE made by a company called JetBrains. Now you may be wondering, what is an IDE? An IDE stands for an Integrated Development Environment, and it's basically the tool that we're going to use to write our code in. And Intellij IDE is like a text editor, but a very sophisticated one, because it has a lot of features like highlighting our code, showing real-time errors and suggestions. You can run and compile your code just by a few clicks. In other words, it's making the process of writing code easier and better. Therefore, let's download Intellij IDE. So I'm going to open my browser. You should open your browser. And in the search tab, I will type Intellij IDE, press enter. We click here on this link, download Intellij IDE, because this is going to take us on the downloading page. And here you'll see two options: Ultimate, which is paid but has more features, and Community, which is free but has less features. And this is enough for our purposes. Also, you may have noticed that Windows is highlighted here. This is because the Intellij that we are going to download here is for Windows. But if you have macOS or Linux, you should download the particular version for your system. Now, I want you to pay attention at the latest version when I'm currently recording this video is. So it's 22.2.3. And if you look at the system requirements for this version, you need to have a 64-bit version of Windows in order for this version of Intellij IDE to work. Otherwise, it will not work. Now, let's download Intellij IDE. And now the downloading is starting on the top right hand side. And if you have a different browser, you'll see the downloading starting in a different place. Once the downloading is finished, just open this file. I'm going to close the browser, and now the installation will start. Now it's asking us if you allow this app to make changes to our device. Click on yes. Here we need to click on next, and this is the folder location where Intellij IDE is going to be installed. You can change this location by clicking on browse, and it will show you the folders where you can put Intellij IDE. But I'm going to keep the default location, so I'm going to click on next. Here I can create a desktop shortcut, so I'm going to check this to create a desktop shortcut, and I'm going to click on next, and then I'm going to click on install. And now Intellij IDE is going to be installed. And as you can see on the left hand side here, it already appeared. Alright, now the installation is finished. Just click on this box to run Intellij IDE Community Edition and click on finish. And now, if you see this Windows popping up, this is because it wants to import the previous settings of the previous installation of Intellij IDE. But most of you will not have a previous installation of Intellij IDE. This will be the first time when you install Intellij IDE. So you need to click Do Not Import Settings and click on OK. And now Intellij IDE is going to start. Alright, so this is the welcome window of Intellij IDE, and this is the place from which you're going to create all of our projects. Now, let's go on the left hand side where it says Customize, click, and we click here where it says Color Theme, and we click on this drop-up menu. And from here I'm going to select Intellij Light, because this is better for tutorials, but you can keep the dark theme if you want. Also, I'll show you in a separate video how to add more themes, not just the themes provided by Intellij IDE. Let's go back on the left hand side, click on projects. Let's click on new project because we need to configure now the JDK. Alright, as you can see here, it says that there is no SDK. And what that means is that, first, what is the SDK? SDK stands for Software Development Kit. And as you can see here, it says JDK. And JDK stands for Java Development Kit. And the SDK is basically the Java Development Kit, however you want to call it. What this thing is, this contains the tools that we need for our app to be able to run and compile our code. And this JDK contains those tools. So you need to click here where it says Download JDK. And the latest version, when you click on the Download JDK, it's open this window and you have version, vendor, and location. And for the version, we're going to choose version 17. And now you may be wondering why version 17, because the latest version is 19. This is because the version 17 is the version which has long-term support. And that means that it will receive bug fixes and updates for several years to come without you needing to switch to a new version whenever it's released. Next we have the vendor, and this is the company which provides the SDK, and I'm going to choose Amazon Corretto because it's a good vendor. Next we have the location where the JDK is going to be installed, and it's good to remember this location. And then I'm going to click on download, and it's going to add the JDK. Because without the JDK, the Intellij IDE, it's like an empty text editor. It doesn't have the tools to write our code and to compile our code or to run our code. So this is what the JDK is. It's like a packet with all the tools that the Intellij IDE needs in order to be able to write code and to run our code. Now I'm going to click on download, and as you can see, it will download and it will be added automatically here. Alright, so now we have the JDK set up here. It's Amazon Corretto 17, and now we're ready to create our first project. But we're going to create our first project in the next video. So I'm going to click on cancel here, and see you in the next video.